Hey guys, welcome back to another plan with me. This week I'm planning from February 6th to the 12th, and I apologize in advance for any motorcycle four-wheeler sounds you may hear. It seems as if everybody is out riding on this generic Thursday night. I don't know, it's not even that nice out, but everybody's out and it's pissing me off. But anyway, moving on. This week we're planning from February 6th to the 12th, and I'm using this Dark Arts kit from Scribble Prints Co. that I actually originally took out of my cart when I placed a big SPC order. And then this week happened, and I realized I didn't have a Harry Potter themed kit on hand, and it's currently March 2nd when I'm doing this voiceover, and I just filmed this plan with me last night. And the reason that I am behind is because I needed this kit for this week, because my best friend and I went to Harry Potter drag trivia on Friday, and there was no way in hell I was not getting this kit because I wanted it and just put it back. And then, this was my moment, and I'm so relieved. Fingers crossed this stays the same, but I'm so relieved that kits don't, like the mini kits, don't sell out immediately anymore, because, like, for instance, right now I really want the Schitt's Creek kit from Scribble Prints Co., but it's the only kit I want right now, and because of shipping, I don't want to just place another order and throw away more shipping. I would rather just wait, you know what I mean? So hopefully what I just said doesn't bite me in the ass and that kit randomly sells out or something. But yeah, I like that we are able to now take a moment, put multiple weeks of new releases in our cart, and save on the shipping. That is just lovely, especially in today's economy. But anyway, point is, we have the kit. It's perfect. And I even splurged and got the extra full box sheet, which I never do. And I'm happy I did, because I'm living for this double box, but you'll see that I struggled figuring out which boxes I wanted to put down because there were so many good ones. And I swap out the one, yeah, you're seeing me do it right now. I forgot that I really wanted to use this box that was included in the kit on my sidebar, and I thought about changing some other things, but ended up keeping it the way it is. As far as my week goes, there were some good parts, there were some not so good parts, and I will say that the month of February, my depression has been very bad. I don't know if it's hormonal. I don't know if it's the weather. I don't think it is. I haven't been feeling great. I've been incredibly anxious, and I know that I say that a lot, but it's been very, very bad the last couple weeks. I really have not wanted to go outside at all. It's just been bad, but there were some bright spots in this week. All in all, my weekend was really good. I didn't have enough downtime for rest, but spoiler alert, I make up for it in the following week, so that's okay. And I'm glad that I did everything I did. So anyway, moving on, I'm going to get started with the day by day, and forgive me if I sort of stumble over my words because, again, it has been so long, so my memories are not fresh, and if you've seen my other plan with me, I've been behind, and it's hard to remember everything that happened on certain days, but I'm going to try. So first thing on Monday, I marked that this was the first time I worked from my boyfriend's place. Normally, I would go in on the office on Monday, but I didn't, and I was at his place, and he has had our entire relationship incredibly spotty internet that has gone out for entire weeks at a time. And actually, funny enough, today, March 2nd, in current time, he just got good internet installed. And it's a little ironic because now I think my roommate is going to be home almost never, so I'm gonna have to obviously be here for the cats a lot. I will still be at his place, so it is still nice that he has internet now, but it would have been nice if he had internet the whole damn time we were dating and I was over there 3 to 4 days a week. So, but it's fine. It is what it is. And yeah, I just marked that I had internet all day, and I was very stressed about that because if the internet went out before my break, no big deal. I would just drive home and use that as my break. But if the internet went out after my break, I was like, SOL, because I can't work from a coffee shop because I make phone calls. So yeah, it was risky, but it worked out. I did a workout during my break, and then I worked on a puzzle, and you will see me put down some plans after puzzle, and that's because my cursor on my iPad in my notes app like moved and when I wasn't looking, and so I was looking at the word puzzle on Monday, and then I was looking at the word puzzle on Wednesday. So you understand what happened. But I caught myself and I fixed it. So what really happened was we went to Little Caesars and we got the like half breadsticks, half pizza. It's Little Caesars. It's nothing grand, but it was good. And then we watched Severance. That was it on Monday. Moving on to Tuesday, I did go back home super early at like 7 a.m. Might not be super early for you. It's super early for me. And it was my mom's birthday, so I wanted to mark that. I marked that the cats destroyed the living room again, and I swear, I think it's kind of in my head, but in my opinion, if they are alone for a full 24 hours, they trash the living room. And I know that's not true because there have been a couple times where we've both been home and asleep and we've woken up to something disastrous. And the one time that Brad really went apeshit and he bent my floating shelf, he shattered my vase, he pulled all my books out of my bookshelf and pulled down a lamp all the way from the top of my bookshelf. Don't ask me how it didn't shatter. My roommate was home. It's just he was out in the living room all night by himself. It's just they're young, they're rambunctious. So when I leave them for a full 24 hours, 9 times out of 10, I'm coming home to a terrible surprise. So luckily I came home much earlier than I needed to before work so that I could take care of their litter and whatever damage they had done. Then I just marked that I worked. I did my 3 miles on the treadmill. I did like 1.8 during my break and then finished it off after work. This night I decided to make myself oven roasted, like Parmesan cauliflower, which was good. And then I just played Toontown with my mom. Joe ended up coming over after his soccer game and we watched another episode of Severance. Wednesday, the first thing I marked was that I worked, of course, and then I marked that my roommate came back this day. You would think that made my day less stressful because I knew I didn't have to like take care of the cat litter and feed 2 cats, but the joke's on me. The short version is before my roommate was working as a nanny and she would come home at 5 and I feed the cats at 5. So they associate her homecoming with food. Problem is she came home at noon. So they meowed and screamed for 5 hours straight because their brains couldn't understand that it wasn't 5 p.m. because they associate her coming home with food. And so even though she was home, I decided that I would still continue to feed both of the cats wet food on the days that I was home so that they would leave me alone while I was working. Because when she's not home, they sleep the whole time I'm working. They don't bother me at all. But when she's home, they're screaming. So yeah, either way, I'm still feeding 2 cats wet food and cleaning out 2 bowls, but it's really not that big of a deal. I'm just dramatic and incredibly lazy, so I'd rather not. But anyway. Then I marked that I did a workout on my break, and because I accidentally put that little Paper Shire book on a half box and put it on Monday, I didn't have the space to mark everything for Wednesday. I did a puzzle this night as well, but didn't mark it, which is probably a good thing because I'm running out of puzzle stickers yet again, and I just reordered a sheet. But this is where I meant to put the exhausted and that I started Michael's book. So the story with that is that my boyfriend's best friend wrote a novel and he sent me the first draft. And I felt very, very excited that he trusts me enough to let me read it. And it's sort of long, so I'm still working on it, but I do want to finish it like this month and get back to him with my notes. But we both like a lot of the same books, specifically like Stephen King books, and I can definitely like see that a lot in this book. So I don't know, it's exciting, but I started it this day, which is a big deal because he gave it to me a while, but I was so tired and so stressed out from work and also like in the middle of a different book, and my brain's not really good at reading like 2 physical books at a time. I can do an audio and physical, but I don't like bouncing back between physical books. So that's that. Moving on to Thursday, the first thing I marked, of course, was work yet again. I did my 3 miles, same thing as the other day, half during my break, half after work. And then I marked that I can't stop eating candy. And it was so bad this week, especially this day. I ate candy until I had a stomach ache, specifically like sour gummies. I've been so much better about not purchasing candy, but I still had a ton left over from Christmas. And this specifically was part of my Christmas gift. So I ate it. It was delicious, but I need to chill out on that. I also did my nails this night. Then I took the all-encompassing shower with, the shaving, the exfoliating, the 9 yards, which I hate doing, but I always feel so good after. So did that. I worked on my puzzle from hell and watched Sister Wives. Moving on to Friday, the first thing I marked was that this was my short work day, which was nice. And then I also started my morning with very stressful news. I got a message from my boss the second I signed on. I was still half asleep. I thought I was dreaming a little bit. But the short version is that I have to get a passport and I have to go on a work trip overseas. And I'm very, very, very nervous about it. So I'm not trying to think about it too much. I'm just focusing on one thing at a time. I have to get a passport. So that's step 1. I have my appointment set and I think I have all of my documentation, but I'm not excited about that at all because I stress about going to Walmart. So I don't know how I'm gonna do flying international alone, essentially. I don't even know if my boss is gonna be on the plane with me. So that's gonna be a thing. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Who knows? It's all the way in September. A lot could change. I might not even end up going. But as of right now, I am going. So I don't even know how. My job is not that important. Definitely not important enough to ship me overseas when there's things like Zoom. So, but it is what it is. Moving on. After work, it was really nice out. It was cold, but it was still sunny. So my roommate and I walked to Whole Foods so I could do an Amazon return and then to Aldi so that she could get some groceries. Then I did my makeup because we were going out this night and it looked good for once. And then we went to Harry Potter trivia. And it's funny because when we first signed up for this, I was like, yes, this is so exciting. This is right up our alley. And then it dawned on me that I have not reread the books yet. I have not read them since they came out. It's definitely on my bucket list to reread every single one, but I've never reread a book before in my life. So that's a big undertaking, but I did start them in how old were we? Were we in first grade or something? So it's time, but it hasn't happened yet. And I used to rewatch the movies all the time, but it's been years since I've rewatched them. So on our short 8-minute walk to the location, we were quizzing each other, and it's a good thing we did because a couple of the things that we quizzed ourselves on ended up being part of trivia night. So glad we did that, but there were still a lot of things I couldn't remember. Neither one of us could remember for the life of us what Ron's middle name was. There was no way in how we were remembering that. And I'm sure some of you were that's so easy, but we did okay. I'll say that. We were in the top half, but not great. We were slightly above average on that. And she definitely carried us because my recall was terrible. Couldn't remember anybody's middle name. And that was every other question. So yeah, but it was so much fun. And the drag queens were amazing. There was one drag queen, I cannot remember her name, but she did Malfoy. And then she also did Voldemort. And she did the whole 9. She had a bald cap, a prosthetic nose. It was Voldemort. And then Voldemort did a striptease to a Linkin Park song. It was everything and more. And then just seeing Voldemort in his little all his makeup and stuff and then just a jock strap was hilarious. I was cry laughing. It was so much fun. And they also had a themed cocktail list and dinner menu, and we got Polyjuice Potion. It was gray. It was really cool. First time I've ever had a gray. It looked like dirty water, but it was cool. Yeah, very, very good night and much needed. And once again, I was dreading it. I was dreading going, and it's one of those things that I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with when you're depressed, but sometimes you have to push yourself, and this was one of those times, and I'm glad I did it. Then when I got back, I FaceTimed Joe, but he didn't pick up, and then he ended up calling me right back, which defeated the purpose, just because my makeup finally came out really good this day, and I just wanted him to see me beautiful for once, because it's been so damn long. I just look like a troll every fucking day, so that defeated the purpose, but we still talked for like 45 minutes, and he told me about his day, which is fine. I was just beautiful on my own, but whatever. I let him know that I was beautiful. And then I worked on my puzzle from hell and went to bed. Moving on to Saturday, the first thing I marked was that I got ready, and then I got news that there was a last-minute change of plans, which I never like, even if it benefits me. Originally, I was going to be driving an hour away to meet my mom and grandmother for lunch, but then there was a last-minute change of plans because my grandmother, who is very, not spontaneous, but when she makes a decision, she does it ASAP, and she decided to switch from AT&T to Verizon, which means our whole family is switching from AT&T to Verizon, and if we didn't go to the Verizon store this day, I wouldn't have a phone for 5 days, which I can't be doing, especially living like in a city. Like I need a phone, so we had to go do that. So I was excited for the ride for once. I even downloaded a new audiobook, like I was ready to go, but instead they met me like 20 minutes out of Philly. We met in Cherry Hill, which is a nightmare on a Saturday afternoon. There is like no worse town over here to be in than Cherry Hill. And the first time we went to the Verizon, I drove around for 20 minutes looking for a parking spot. There was no parking. It was if you're familiar, it was the like Wegmans Cherry Hill shopping center. Not a spot to be found. So then we ended up going to a diner for lunch, which was really good. I love just like an egg white spinach feta omelet from a Jersey diner. It's just lovely. So we did that, and then we walked around Target because my mom thought she might be able to do the phone thing herself since my phone didn't have a chip, but it didn't work. So then back to Verizon we went, and we luckily found one spot. And this time we left my car at the Target, and we all shoved into my mom's. And we found one spot. Someone was leaving. We scooped it up. Then after all of that, I went back to Joe's place, and all I wanted to do was have a couple drinks and watch a movie. So that is exactly what we did. And we watched Babylon, which was probably a little bit too long, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I've heard mixed reviews. I am definitely a fan. I really, really liked it. And I love Margot Robbie, so you can't go wrong. Oh, sorry, I yawned. But anyway, back to the plans. Moving on to Sunday, the first thing I marked was that I started the day grumpy, and that's just how it is sometimes. I get very anxious on Sundays because of work on Monday, so yeah, just wasn't feeling it this day. And then Joe asked if I wanted to go with him while he did a couple work stops, so I went. Probably should have stayed home, but I felt like he wanted the company. I ended up getting really car sick, and his work car has like terrible suspension, or I don't know if that's even the right term, but basically we hit a pebble, the car goes flying. You get it. Then because he wanted to watch the Super Bowl, but I don't give a flying fuck about football, I did a puzzle during the game, and I did watch some of the commercials. Some of them were okay. But yeah, I felt really accomplished because I started my puzzle after the game had already begun because we ate pizza first, and I finished it before the end. So yeah, did it pretty quickly, I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's not even that big of a deal. I do a freaking puzzle every day, like shut up. So whatever, but that's pretty much all I did that Sunday. The other things I marked were that I had really bad Sunday scaries, and I woke up in the middle of the night with night sweats. And yeah, my Sunday anxiety is not getting any better. Any tips would be welcome. The only one I've been able to come up with that seems to work is when I'm feeling extra anxious and have that like energy, I need to go do something. And by that, I mean like go for a drive, go for a walk, like leave, but that's not always possible. So any other tips would be very much appreciated. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.